All right. Ooh. Oh, wait a minute. I got this to gotta change this up. Hang on, y'all. Look at that. Still not working. To all messages and switch this over. No, we live now. Not let me show the actual. I appreciate y'all for coming in. We gonna get started in just a moment.
Yes, sir. We are here. We are here.
I just seen it. Hopefully that shows it right. There we go. All right. Sorry for the delay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure I hit the record button. All righty. Every game, every era, every fan. You're listening to Squad Sportcast. Four brothers, one mic, all sports. We'd like to thank y'all for coming in and making sure that you are tuning in live. This is episode 5. It's a
We made it
special
to
one because,
five, y'all.
live
Getting
5
deep out here.
episode.
Watch
We are
out.
out here, ladies and gentlemen. Live 5 episode, and we gonna bring the sports talk out here. So, with that being said, we like to thank you all for your likes, your subscriptions, your views that help make our last episode a great success. Starting here and in future episodes, we are going to introduce a new title. This title is going to be one not everybody's going to love. All three of us are trying to avoid it. It's called the Crash King title. Therefore, it's given to the person who's crashed out in the most recent episode, and it will be given in the next episode. So, unfortunately for you, Mike, we don't have that title up yet,
I be chilling.
but
I be chilling.
we got the title coming on the next episode. But you got plenty of opportunity to earn it. I promise you, you do. The way we set this episode up, I promise you, you are the odds-on favorite.
I
So,
think it's
for
you, bro.
those that's out there in YouTube land, I need y'all to make sure y'all are voting in the live channel or make sure you put it in the comment section. The most votes on live and in the comment section by Thursday's episode will receive the Crash King title. All right? That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. As you can all tell, it's Hoodie Tuesday. You know, we got our hoods on, repping the hoodies out here. Just got to get a little Black Crown lifestyle out there. Shout out J.M. Anderson for the, what's it called? He got joined with the Love Hurts. Mike, I can't see yours real quick.
NFL, baby.
Oh, you just got
NFL.
the NFL in general. All right. With that being said, again, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and share buttons so we can continue to give y'all this great content that we have set up for y'all this evening. But with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. We're gonna start off with a little WWE out here. I know not a lot of people, it's a little throw out here, but let's talk about it real quick. The WWE product has undergone a lot of changes since Triple H has taken over. There's been a lot of long title reigns that's been out there. Roman Reigns, for one. You have Seth Rollins, who's had another decent reign. Cody Rhodes just had a reign. He just lost to Drew McIntyre, who's now the current undisputed champion. But with that being said, are the long WWE title reigns adding prestige? Is it helping or hurting the main product? And here's how it goes. Honestly, the long reigns are going to add the prestige to the person holding this title, such as your Roman Reigns, such as your Cody Rhodes. But really, is it hurting the main product? Mike, I'm going to pass it to you first because you don't really keep up with it. Is that really one of the reasons why you don't keep up with it? Is it them long? You tired of seeing the same people holding the belts? Or is you ready for something new out here?
So for me, I actually used to watch wrestling all the time. Something that you may not know is that in high school, I actually was a wrestler. I was captain of the wrestling team back in the day. So I used to be adamant about it. I was a big Kurt Angle guy because he actually was a real wrestler. Not that they're not real wrestlers. He was just an Olympic wrestler, is what I mean to say. All right. He was an Olympian doing folk style. So for me, I actually like the long reigns. But here's the caveat. I like the long reigns of champions as long as that champion is active. What I didn't like, for example, was when Brock Lesnar used to hold the title and hold the title captive and wouldn't actually be competing. I didn't like it when they did that with Randy Orton. He was out injured and they didn't do like a interim title, right? I didn't like when they did that with a couple of other people. The Rock used to be doing that, probably competing 2 times a year, and then have the title in limbo and everybody's competing for the belt. I didn't like that, but I do like the long title reign as long as it's an active champion. I think what it comes for me is it comes down to I used to watch WCW back in the day, and I was a huge Goldberg fan, right? The streak was alive. I didn't like that he was actually in real life hurting people. I did not know that at the time as a child, right? But other than that part, the streak that he had made you fall in love with wrestling. He would be finishing people in, 10 seconds type of stuff out there. You just hear his theme music, he'd jump in the ring, immediate jackhammer. I was like, oh snap, that just happened, right? He didn't even warm it up or nothing. Nowadays you gotta like warm up to the special, right?
Oh,
You gotta
yeah.
hit a little ropey dope. You gotta, feign like, oh, I just got hurt, you just got poked in the eye or whatever. And then now you gotta hit the special. Back in the day, somebody just out of nowhere, special, 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 special. Like, oh snap, this is going crazy. I like the thing that I like now that they're doing with these long reigns. Something that they've been changing up is that they are doing tribute to other wrestlers by doing their special. I actually really like that feature. Edge did that pretty recently in the AEW, if not AEW, whatever brand, I think it's AEW. I don't know what brand he's in now, TNF or something. All right. But Edge did that recently. Um, John Cena did that recently. There's a lot of them that did that I really liked. So to answer it, I don't think that it hurts the brand as long as the champion is active. If the champion is not active, I think it directly hurts the brand. That's probably my best takeaway on that, and I'll pass it to y'all.
All right, Jordan, you got it next. Let's hear what you got to say.
Personally, I love the long reigns because it gives a bit of a storyline for these wrestlers. Recently, it hasn't been happening that much. They've been taking PTO like Kawhi Leonard. Why I don't know, because we actually like these wrestlers. We do. For example, when John Cena held it for a year, it was actually good to watch it because I was entertained. I didn't have to be bored wondering when are they going to show up. They didn't have all these part time roles in movies, sitcoms, whatever. I was able to just sit back and I knew every single Friday or every single Monday I was going to be entertained watching wrestling. But there was a time between let's say 2008 2022 ish where it wasn't happening, and I kind of got bored with wrestling for a while. And I hated it because it was my childhood growing up, but now I see, like Nick was talking about, the creative team is turned over a new leaf, and now they're making sure that these wrestlers actually earn their fan base, and I like it. The only issue I have is I need Jade Cargill to actually defend her championship. She hasn't defended it since she had it, but that's just a no shade, but shade, no umbrella, whatever. But I
Oh,
need her to defend her title because she's a good wrestler. She's fit. She's fine. All that. But I need her to defend her title. But I like the fact that they're actually giving them a chance to develop a storyline rather than just give it to an old head that pops up off the chair. It takes away from the new blood. Like that's why Cena gave that victory to Gunther when it was his final match because he knew it was time. Like him winning that would make the audience want him to stay, and that he didn't want that. He wanted the new regime to take over. So I like it.
let me put my current thoughts into it. I do like both aspects and avenues of it. Um, a bit of a story. For those that don't know, that was part of like watching WWE was a pastime with my grandmother. So that was something that we shared together. My mom was never really into like the WWE because it was too hardcore. People was getting hurt. Then she was like, "Oh, y'all could get into it, and then y'all get hurt. Then I gotta go to the hospital, and I'm not paying no bills." Y'all know classic black family stuff, right? But my grandmother was really into it. She didn't care that the wrestlers were fake. They had great storylines, and and stuff that went into it. I think we went into the right direction when we went into the Cody Rhodes thing. They definitely mishandled the Cody Rhodes story because you had, I think it was Daniel Bryan that came back and he was getting his pop through. You had Edge that was getting his pop at that time. Edge had came back after 9 years and he was like, honestly, he should have won it. Like, honestly, Edge came back at a perfect time, prime, ready to get it. And then they botched the whole thing,
They
which
don't know how to
helped to.
carry momentum.
Well, I mean, you got to also understand, like storylines and playing into everything. Like you have to play into everything. First of all, letting Cody Rhodes finish his story that should have been number one on the list. Then we could have introduced Edge if he was ready. We could have got ratings up and stuff like that. But you introduced him and made him a threat to the WWE Undisputed Championship. Like we can't end up doing that. Um, then you had Daniel Bryan coming back, and then he was a threat to the championship. Like you can't do that either. Um, then you have The Rock coming back. You didn't know if he was going to be a threat to the championship. It was a whole lot going on. What's up, Mike?
I was just gonna say, I really loved, to your point, I loved the Seth Rollins storyline that they had though. Um, that was actually, you guys don't think I follow wrestling, but I actually follow it more than you think. But I I really actually enjoyed the Seth Rollins storyline of him like fake breaking his leg and then not actually breaking his leg and then losing a championship and then coming back and just dominating. I thought that the rivalry that he had. So I'm trying to remember who he had the rivalry with. There was a big rivalry that like just happened, but you guys probably know more than I do. But he had a big rivalry that was going on for quite a while there. They were like fighting each other's wives, and it was just going crazy. It was a wild situation, and I really thought that that was a dope storyline, the way that they brought it up and the way that they go about it. So I absolutely agree with you. I think that it's really interesting, um, just how they do things. But to your point, I think that sometimes they end storylines sooner than they should. Sometimes it's out of necessity, right? Like Roman Reigns getting injured, they had to end his storyline sooner than they wanted to. Brock Lesnar leaving the WWE because of the legal battles with Vince McMahon, including Vince McMahon, they had to end his storyline sooner than they wanted to, right? And that's for the record, that's been the case ever since wrestling's been around, you know? Think about when Owen Hart passed away, RIP to Owen Hart, right? They had to end that storyline early, obviously, because Owen Hart passed away. But before Owen Hart passed away, they had to end the storyline with Sid Vicious, right? Just if you guys remember back in the day, Sid Vicious was fire. I thought Sid Vicious was Kane for years. I was convinced that he was Kane, you know? But apparently he's not. So, but it was a lot of those things like that. But you know what was interesting, and I thought really enhanced wrestling back in the day? The WCW versus the WWE for about 7 to 10 years there, that was exactly the storyline that you wanted. NWO, that was probably one of the best factions we probably ever saw and would ever see was NWO. But then when you think about it, DX was probably the best faction ever. That's probably a whole different conversation. Best tag team or best faction, you know what I'm saying, with wrestling. I'm probably, and then you had the Hardy Boys, right? And then like et cetera. Like Edge and
Dudley
Christian,
Boys.
like that's a whole different conversation. So, but for me, I loved ECW initially, right? But ECW got too violent. It almost looked like somebody was actually hurting people all the time, and I didn't like ECW as a result. WCW had my attention because my favorite wrestler of all time is not The Undertaker, if you know he's like my number two. It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin, who's probably my number three. It's not The Rock, who's probably my number four. My favorite wrestler of all time is Sting. Woo! I was a big Stinger, baby. Because the Stinger splash, the Scorpion Deathlock, man, don't get me started. I get excited. Go ahead. I'm gonna pass it to y'all.
Bro, you're telling your age right now.
I'm
That's
all
what
right
you're
with that.
doing.
I'm okay with
You're
that. That's a blessing.
telling your age. But you did make a point about this. And WWE does have to. I'm about to go somewhere, and y'all might not know where it's going. It's gonna get a little dark. But WWE definitely has to fix a legacy. You spoke about deaths. They have to fix the legacy of Chris Benoit. Definitely do. We understand he had his mental episode, his mental breakdown, which led to him, of course, killing his family and himself in a tragic murder suicide. I'm not saying that it was right. He's justified. I'm not saying any of that. They do need to fix it. There was a lot of stuff, especially in the Attitude Era, that went wrong, which also led to the death of Eddie Guerrero. So they have to fix that legacy. If Eddie Guerrero is standing, and we've known Eddie Guerrero to literally lie, cheat, and steal, like it was, but it was cool because he was Mexican. He was a Mexican wrestler. He was a Mexican wrestler, and it was cool that he did it because it fit the mantra. Like, oh, Mexicans lie, cheat, and steal. But with Chris Benoit, it doesn't fit that. He had his own issues going on. Like Eddie Guerrero was gambling his money away and stuff like this. Like, you need to fix Chris Benoit's legacy.
I, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt and dominate this random segment that I'm not supposed to know anything about. But I will tell you that I did strongly disagree with that take. This is why. Chris Benoit, regardless of Chris Benoit was one of my favorite wrestlers as well, probably in my top 10. I was a huge fan of the crippler crossface. I was a huge fan of his style. Thought he was intense. He was amazing. Just crazy talented. Chris Benoit killed his wife and his kid and himself. Now, do we know about PTSD like we do now? Absolutely not. He was taking chair shots to the face just about every night, you know? We don't know about CTE and all the things. Like, I'm not saying that he wasn't going through that. What I'm saying is that you can't, in one token, uh, talk about the prestige and the respect and the regime and the corporate brand and all the things and how amazing and grow to this multi-million dollar, billion-dollar brand that you are. And then in the same breath, tell me that we have to do right by Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit didn't do right by Chris Benoit. He didn't do right by his family. He didn't do right by his kid. For me, You have to have a standard. You have to have a line. There has to be a point of no return. And murdering somebody, especially your family, I'm pretty confident that that's the line. Like, I don't know. I'm not the judge and be all, but that seems like a pretty stiff barometer to me. But go ahead.
Right. We could go all day on this. I'm not gonna go too much on it. I'm not gonna give too much of a rebuttal. My only rebuttal is, of course, what do we do about NFL players who's done just the same? Like we still have their prestige. Like their prestige is still highly regarded. Like we have OJ Simpson, who right now is still like in the record books. We talk about it. Like we know about him in the record books. Like his legacy still lives on. And OJ killed his wife. Allegedly. 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 Keep in mind, allegedly. But if you know, you know. But still, it's the thing. Go ahead, Jordan.
I will say though that I have to agree with Mike on this one because the WWE is trying to keep a certain image or at least curate it. And I don't think they want to approach that or advocate for people who ended their families' lives, even if their career was as decorated as Chris Benoit's was. I just don't think they want to touch that with a 10-foot pole right now, especially how very delicate the community is as a whole. The WWE is just getting back into everybody's good graces, and they want to carry that momentum right now, especially with getting all the attention that they're getting. They don't want to do that. I think they want to probably let that die down for at least probably another 5 to 10 years when things are a little bit more mediated than right now because it's still kind of fresh in everybody's minds.
I get it. I get it. Like I said, that's my stance on it. I still do it. Like I said, I don't justify anything that he does at all.
None of us do.
The man
Just to
got
be
to
clear, none of
atone
us
for
do.
all of that. Like he got to go and deal with that. Hey, he's suffering now for it. He's suffering now for it. But he got to atone for it. But eventually, that's just what I would like to see. But we're gonna go ahead and move on. We're gonna keep in the same topic of I didn't spoil the surprise. We're gonna go ahead and keep it to the topic of the WWE. I got a Keep 3 Cut 5 edition for you guys. And I got something special for y'all. Same number of players, 8 players. You get to keep 3 of them. The other 5 you're cutting. So we gonna see
edition.
WWE edition.
Is this all time or just right now?
Attitude Era edition. We will do we will do the current stars maybe in another episode, but I want to see what the Attitude Era is. Because we talked about it, we talked about prestige and stuff like that. So I want to see where everybody sees their prestige at. So like I said, Keep 3 Cut 5. Here we go. Number 1 on the list. So again, y'all just tell me if you're going to keep them or you're going to cut them. All right? Very simple. Number 1 on the list.
Wait, time out. Do we have to agree?
Yes, you have to agree on it.
Triple H.
Triple H, number 1.
From the Attitude Era, Triple H.
From the Attitude Era.
When does the Attitude Era end? What year?
We're going to, for discussion base, we're going to end the Attitude Era at 2010.
And when did it start?
Triple H.
90 what?
90.
1990.
Keep.
So a 30-year cycle.
30-year cycle.
Is Triple H in the top 3. I'm going to cut him. Respectfully. And with all admonishment and
I gotta hear
respect
this.
on his name.
I gotta hear this.
But if we're talking Keep 3, Cut 5, these are the names that come to mind in my mind from 1990 to 2010.
We gotta make sure it's one by one. We can't go that far. We gotta keep it one.
You have to because I don't know who's coming up. Right? This could be another situation where I'm not picking Luka Doncic, right? And messing up the whole count. Right?
Last time
and listen,
what I said.
I can accept if you say he's top 3, I'll let you lead today. It's fine. But if it's up to me, I would say cut. He'd probably be number 5 on my list. because I would put Stone Cold over him.
Oh my
I'd
God.
put The Undertaker over him.
I
I'd
need,
put The Ultimate Warrior over him. I'd put Ric Flair over him.
don't make me get a
I'd put
drink
Kane
because
over him.
you put
I'd put I'd put
killing
if
me right now.
I'd put quite a few people over Triple H. Now, don't get me wrong. Triple H's impact specifically with DX elevates him higher in my mind than just him on his own. When he first came out, he was super lame. He was
The
Hunter Hearst
McMahon
Helmsley. He
Helmsley
was
era,
crazy lame.
Evolution,
No,
DX. Like,
back when, no, no,
are we
before
serious, bro?
DX. Back when he came up there with them bright leggings on, and everybody thought he was British or Australian or something. He
I
was
know he
lame.
came in with the lion mane, but he grew up.
I'm
His
happy he
image
grew up.
changed.
He needed to grow up. It was terrible. But if listen, I'll let you take the lead on this one. If you are strongly saying 100% that he's top three, I will concede and let him be top three.
I need an answer, fellas.
So we going.
Whatever Jordan says.
You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Because you feel so adamant about it, we're gonna go cut.
Cut.
You better
Bow.
be right. You better be right.
Bye-bye. Get out of here, Triple H.
Probably wrong.
Get out of here.
You better be right.
Crazy work. And you know what's even crazier? The next name on this list. I want to hear this one. The next name on this list is Shawn Michaels.
Keep first ballot. Stamp it.
You're gonna keep Shawn Michaels,
keep
but
for me. Easy keep for me.
So
because Shawn Michaels was relevant outside of DX. Shawn Michaels was famous. The Montreal screw job, probably the most famous screw job that's ever happened. The Heartbreak Kid, he was famous as HBK. Then he was famous as Shawn Michaels. Then he was famous as DX. This man was famous in every generation and was dominant and winning the titles and getting all the girls. And he was macking the honeys. Bruh, you got to give it to Shawn Michaels. I'm sorry. Shawn Michaels is probably on the Mount Rushmore, to be honest, in
so
my opinion.
I
But
just want to make
put him
sure
over Triple H for those
audience.
reasons.
I just want to make sure we're clarifying this. Internet, do your thing. We're not gonna put in a 14-time world champion.
Correct.
In Shawn Michaels.
How many time champion was champion was Shawn Michaels?
14 times.
How many time champions was Shawn Michaels?
Not 14.
And how many times did he win? No, that's not true.
Not
and how
14.
many times did he defend the belt? Because to be a 14-time champion, that means that you had to lose 13 times. That's the first off.
No,
right?
That means you won it 14 times.
But that means you lost it as well. Because if he had just kept the belt the whole time, he'd have been a one-time champion. He lost the belt 13 times to be a 14-time champion, which is why Ric Flair lost the belt 20 times.
4 times.
He
won it 4 times.
So wait, Shawn Michaels won it 4 times?
Yes.
What else belts did he win though? I know he won the tag belts. I know he won the Intercontinental belt.
We'd be here all night if we went through their belt decoration. But
my point is, if we talk about impact and who people wanted to be, people wanted to be on steroids because of Triple H. People wanted to wrestle because of Shawn Michaels. And most wrestlers say that Shawn Michaels was the most talented wrestler they've ever seen. Ric Flair said that. And Ric Flair
Hold on.
The guy.
I got to pause on that.
That's what he said.
Undertaker got a foot in that one.
Undertaker's up in that list as well. He's amazing. But if it's up to me, if you say keep 3 and cut 5, I'm keeping Shawn Michaels and I'm cutting Triple H. But this one, I'm going to rely on Jordan's expertise. I speak Attitude Era fluently and very passionate about it. But I was so wrong on the Luka Doncic one that I'm going to take Jordan's lead this time. So, Jordan, do we keep Triple H or do we cut him? What's your argument?
No, we're going to go with your stance this time. We're going to cut. And you want to keep Shawn Michaels? Fine. We'll do that.
All right. Keep Shawn Michaels, cutting Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley's out of here.
Get out of there. All right.
I can't
Number 3 on the list. Kurt Angle.
Cut. It's a respectable cut. Multiple time champion, world champion, Olympian. Probably a big impact. I think his impact was bigger after 2010, though. I don't think it was bigger before 2010. That's why I'd say cut.
I mean, it kind of ended before 2010, though. He dominated the Attitude Era when it was his time. And in a short time in the WWE minus TNA, he did the thing.
Yeah.
We're not talking TNA, though. We
Right.
talking
Exactly.
attitude era.
Straight attitude
All right,
era.
then we'll
And
cut.
when I think
We'll
of the
cut
attitude
Kurt.
era, I don't think of Kurt Angle. That's what I'll tell you.
We'll cut Kurt. We'll
Cut.
All right.
Out of there, Kurt Angle.
Get
Olympic
out of
champion,
there.
a world champion.
All right.
It is not
Respectfully.
true, Kurt Angle. It is not
Respectfully. You
true.
gotta remember, respectfully.
all respect to all of these people.
But he gotta get out of there.
Much love and respect, but get the out of here, boy.
All right.
I can't
Number
believe what we're
4
doing,
on the
y'all.
list. Chris Jericho.
Woo!
Keep.
I know this is Jordan's GOAT. So I'm gonna say respectful keep. If it was up to me, it'd be a cut. But I'm confident that Jordan's gonna say keep because this is his guy. So I'm
Too
gonna let Jordan
decorated to not keep.
You want to cut him?
No, too decorated to not.
Oh,
too
okay.
To not keep. Like
cool.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is that he's gonna say Stone Cold and The Rock, and then now we're gonna be looking silly having kept Chris Jericho. Not that Chris Jericho's bad, but I'm just saying that's gonna be the conversation. I think Chris Jericho is to the same equivalency as Edge to me. I don't think he's better than Stone Cold or The Rock.
It just depends on his next 6, his next 4.
All right. Well, we're keeping Chris Jericho. You got one keep left. One key left. And I'm so glad you said something about Edge. Because number 5 is Edge. Gosh, that was too quick.
Just because we comparing the resumes, and I like Edge, if we were doing best tag teams, Edge would be in that conversation. If we talk about just his impact individually in the Attitude Era, there's too many people that I'd vote in over Edge.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, his impact was a little past 2010. So
my point.
Exactly.
So we can cut him. Edge, respectfully.
Get the Edge out of
here. Next on the list, Mick Foley.
Cut.
But
damn.
I love Mick Foley.
Yeah.
The problem is that I loved Mankind version of Mick Foley. I didn't love Dude Love. I didn't like Cactus Jack. I didn't like Mick Foley. I only like Mankind. Had he just been just Mankind, he'd have easily been a keep for me. All those other characters diluted his brand to me and made me not like him as much. I respected his matches, and he sacrificed so much to be, who he was. And his match with The Undertaker is probably one of the best matches of all time. And Mr. Sacco was amazing. But if we're talking keeping over the other guys, like I would have kept Triple H over Mankind, right? And again, I have to take into account the fact that he was Cactus Jack, that he was Mick Foley, that he was Dude Love. I think all those were terrible takes on what could have just been just Mankind.
Hey, you got it. All right. Key 3, cut 5. Number 7, RVD. Rob Van Dam.
I'm going to cut him. I liked RVD. I liked him in ECW more than I liked him in WWE.
Yeah, cut.
The 5-star frog splash was fire, but everybody was doing the frog splash at that time. So that's why it became lame, right? But his chants were epic. His athleticism was top tier. He didn't have enough championships or enough championship reigns. I would have picked Triple H over him. I would have picked Mankind over him. I would have picked Edge over him. He's the lowest on my list.
All right. Well, keep 3, cut 5 edition. I'm so glad
2 left, or we only got
cut
1 left?
One. So
this is
one person.
This is 1. You already cut him.
So we have to keep this one.
I'm going to go down the list.
Oh, okay.
Go down the list. You cut Triple H out of there. You cut Shawn Michaels, the other member of DX. You cut Kurt Angle. Get out of there. You suck.
Might be a little rough one.
You cut Chris Jericho.
Which, okay.
You cut Edge.
Yep, that's a good one.
You cut Mick Foley.
This is a good one.
You cut RVD.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You are kept with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
And we won. Let's go, Jordan. High five. Let's go, baby. And we got it right. And we got it right.
HBK, Y2J, and Stone Cold. We can work with that.
Wins.
Like I said, keep 3, cut 5. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all heard the list. Let us know in the comment section if we cooked or not. It's right there in the comment section.
Even though I'm still kind of on that Triple H piece with Shawn Michaels, I can live with this 3.
I think impact wise, I'm going with Shawn Michaels over Triple H. Not from again, 14-time champion. I respect that, which again means he lost 13 times. But if we talk impact, specifically till 2010, if it was after 2010, Triple H would probably be higher on the list, to be honest with you. But up until 2010, in the 90s, from 1990 to 2005, Stone, HBK was the most popular wrestler other than The Undertaker. Like, he was the most popular wrestler, probably till 2003, actually. But he was the most popular wrestler for 13 years straight as the guy, the headliner, the one. Then he came back and did DX. Then he was made DX popular. He had the poses. He was getting the girls. He aged well in wrestling, which most wrestlers don't age well. He aged well in wrestling, and his finisher still epic. People still are iconic. He went against Ric Flair, beat Ric Flair, right? Beat most of the top people on the roster. I don't understand why he was only a four-time champ. I don't know if they gave him enough shine.
So for Mike, just to let you know, I did do an AI question on that for Gemini, Google Gemini. They said HBK was considered more popular, so that's your little edge on there. So we won one on this.
You.
I got last week. He got this week.
Let's go, baby.
Hey, look, you took. But look, I just saying, Shawn Michaels, Mike got a point. Shawn Michaels getting the girls, and he aged very well. He aged extremely well. Now, here's the controversial take. If I said Ric Flair instead of Rob Van Dam,
it would have been Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the greatest of all time, technically speaking, like in every capacity. He's the icon to me of over Hogan. That's the controversial answer.
One of the greatest. I wouldn't say
Ric Flair is the icon to me over Hulk Hogan.
One of the greatest.
Okay, we need to do a Mount Rushmore apparently, because he would be on my Mount Rushmore easily, without question. But maybe that's another topic for another day.
That's another topic for another day. We can go Attitude Era for days. All right, we're gonna move over. We're gonna switch gears right now. We're gonna switch gears to the NBA. Of course, NBA landscape is changing. Coaches are making a change. Some coaches are relying on the same thing like the NFL. Some coaches relying on analytics. Some are relying on player empowerment, and some are relying on star-led teams. So here's the whole thing. Number one, is great coaching overrated in today's NBA? Or is it just harder to see because of all the player empowerment and the PTO that Jordan alluded to last episode?
PTO is diabolical. Go ahead, Jordan. I'll let you lead this one.
It's the load management. I really think it's the player empowerment. Coaching is going to be crucial to any sport. I don't care how good a player is. I don't care how good a team is. If it's not coached right, they're not going to be well. Like you see it with I know we're talking basketball, but football. If Mike Vrabel wasn't the coach that he is now, Tennessee wouldn't have done well when he was there, and New England probably wouldn't have made it to the Super Bowl because he did it with the talent that he had. He galvanized them. He had a philosophy, and he made it work. I think that's the same when it comes to the NBA. You have to have good coaches, great coaches, in order for teams to do well. For example, even though they finished in the first round last year, the Houston Rockets, they turned it all the way around with Ime Udoka as their head coach, because before they didn't have anything. I understand. I don't even know. KD wasn't even on the team then. They did so well with the youth that they had, but they came up on an old season Steve Kerr and Golden State Warriors team. But had it been anybody else, they would have mopped the floor with them. They're going to get better as the years go on. With the player empowerment, we're having a situation where the players, they take too much time off. I saw a thumbnail today, actually, since we're talking about that, where players are not even going to be eligible for all NBA awards if they miss one more game. One of those being Giannis Antetokounmpo. And he's been an all NBA player since he took his first breath on this NBA court. So we're going to eventually have a conversation about our players getting too much time off. Is the league needing to be more lenient on the restrictions? What are they doing? What do they need to do? Because right now, the player empowerment I think is killing the game. Because we talked about it last week with the dunk contest. Players don't love the game like they used to anymore. And then they're going to blame one specific person, one bald headed person that's in his 23rd year. They're going to blame him for all that, but it's not his fault. It's the whole player coalition that's at fault.
So for me, I think at that point, if we're blaming the player empowerment, you really need to blame the Players Association, like the what is it, NBPA, right? The ones that represent them, right? Um, that's probably who you need to blame for that. So for me, to answer that question, what I'll say is that coaching in the NBA matters when it comes to winning championships. Otherwise, player empowerment is where it's at. So a good coaching will get you the ring. Player empowerment will get you to the playoffs. The example that comes to mind, probably similar to his, is the Brooklyn Nets back when they had all those studs there, right? And didn't do anything, right? I think they had Harden, they had KD, they had
Kyrie.
Kyrie, and they were
Mhm.
trash. Um, the talent was there. That's back to that conversation about elite talent, right? So there's all elite talent, but they weren't an elite team. They weren't elite cohesively, right? Like the example that comes to mind when I think about that, when you talk about like elite talent, right, versus an elite team, specifically where coaching comes in and matters, is I think about the Spurs dynasty. Without Greg Popovich, the Spurs are not the dynasty that they are, despite the talent that they had. Versus if you gone the Lakers with Kobe and Shaq was gonna win regardless of it being Phil Jackson. That's what I think there. So
Oh
good coaching
no,
matters,
no, no, no,
but
no,
when it
no,
comes to
no,
I'll
no,
let
championships,
Nick crash out, and then I got an
no,
example for
no,
you.
go
no,
ahead.
no, no,
Let's hear it, Nick.
no, no. Coaching matters. In that example for Shaq and Kobe, no, because here's the thing you gotta understand. Shaq ended up getting hurt in the regular season, and Kobe went on a scoring bonanza spree. He was scoring, he was dunking, he was doing it all. Phil Jackson had to go to that man, Kobe Bryant, and tell him, hey, player, when Shaq got healthy again, he said, player, you're going to have to slow down because we going to need Shaq come when we get in the playoffs or when we get to the finals. And Kobe was like, I can do it. But it was the ingenious nature of Phil Jackson to tell that man to slow his roll because you're going to need Shaq when you dealing with the East and whoever come out of there. You had the Pistons back then. You had a whole, but the East was a beast back then.
It
And
was
Phil,
not.
if it
That's not
wasn't for
true.
It
Phil
was.
Jackson
The
and
East
the
was not a beast
ingenuity,
back then. Look, if you go back and look at the teams in the East back then, specifically that was playing, other than the Pistons, right, who was dominant as a team and a team unit, and then coaching mattered again because they weren't the talent wasn't there. But if you go back and look at the West back then, the Phoenix Suns had Amari Stoudemire and Steve Nash. And they also had Sean Marion out there. That was in the West, and they were the fourth or fifth seed. Then you had Denver Nuggets had Melo. Then you had the Clippers had a decent squad back then. Then you had the Lakers with Kobe, with Shaq, with Phil Jackson being the coach, which was unnecessary. They had Lamar Odom. Then they brought in Paul Gasol after Shaq left. They had a squad. Then you had the Houston Rockets back then, that Coutinho Mobley and Steve Francis, right? Then they switched over to Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. The West was loaded and was dominating. In fact, the only teams that won in the East in that era that we're talking about, which is probably the early 2000s, um,
The Pistons.
was the Detroit Pistons.
It was the
They won the
Pistons,
title.
the Cavs, and the Celtics,
The Cavs won. The
and the
Cavs
Miami
went
Heat
with
that one
LeBron. They
year.
didn't win. They went with LeBron and lost, right? The Celtics didn't win actually until they had the big three together, and that was in 2010. So there was a
2008 and
stretch there.
2009.
Okay,
They did.
2008.
2009.
Yeah.
Cool. So there was a stretch there for about 9 years where 7 of the years was dominated by the West. I can't say that the East was competitive if the West was dominating, winning the titles. The Spurs were winning titles. The Lakers were winning titles. The Rockets were going to conference finals. The Clippers were going to conference finals. Then you had the Nuggets that had a run. Then you had a couple of other teams too that I can probably think of that would go through. But back then, especially early 2000s, 100% the West. Not at all.
I'm not
So, which is
saying
why I'm
how.
saying that talent in that situation, because of how talented Kobe and Shaq and Derek Fisher and Robert Ory and all those boys were, was more important than coaching. Even if they had a coach like Van Ginkel or whatever,
And Gundy, he's talking about
yeah,
probably.
had Steph. If they had Van Gundy, not Jeff Van Gundy, the other Van Gundy, they still would
Stan
have won
Van
a
Gundy.
title. Stan Van Gundy, SVG, would have still won a title with that Lakers team, and it didn't have to have Phil Jackson. You know who else would
But
have
it's
won a
kind of
title with
to
that
kind of
Lakers
counter
team?
your point though, Mike. Steph Van Gundy
Go
had to
ahead.
be replaced by Pat Riley in that 2006 Miami Heat title. It was
Okay.
no offense to Stan Van Gundy, but I think Pat just said, "Nah, this team has what it takes." So his coaching philosophy made it possible for
Who
that
was
team
on
to
that
do
team
it.
with the Heat that year?
Dwayne Wade, Shaq, and Alonzo Mourning. Gary
Listen to what you
Payton
just
was
said.
a
Dwayne
vet.
Wade,
Jason Williams was a vet.
Shaq,
Like,
Alonzo Mourning. What I'm trying to tell you is that that team was going to win either way, the
no, it's
same
not.
way
With
that the Lakers
coaching
team was.
changes everything. I think it was
Coaching
a
matters,
story.
yes, but I
I think
don't
it was
think
a
that it
story where
matters.
Dennis Rodman back in the '90s with the Bulls, he was clubbing a lot, and
Yeah,
the team had trouble managing his personality. And I
yep.
think it took Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson to keep his temperament at a decent level,
Okay, so
so where he
so
could
to your
play.
point, what I'll say is that in the early 90s, because the talent wasn't there, coaching mattered even more. But if we're talking early 2000s on, there was a big emphasis on the talent of players and what you could accumulate versus coaching. When coaching started mattering again, specifically, not that coaching never stopped mattering, but when it became precedent again, was in the Spurs dynasty. That's when it shifted from a player focus to a coach focus, and that's what got them the championships. But in multiple situations, the talent was the focus over the coaching. Not that coaching doesn't matter. I'm not here to make that argument. Coaching does matter. The argument that I'm making is that in certain situations, like Shaq and Kobe, there's an inevitability that's there, regardless of who the coach is. The coach is a cherry on top. He's not the Sunday. Where it was the Sunday was in that Spurs dynasty. They were not winning those games without uh, Greg Popovich there. Another example is in the Warriors dynasty. The Warriors dynasty would have won without Steve Kerr being the coach. To be completely candid, absolutely. Had Byron Scott coached them, they would have still won.
No,
Did you see the
whoa,
talent that was
bro,
on the Warriors? They had
no.
Klay Thompson,
Mark
they had
Jackson would
Steph
like a
Curry, they had
word.
Draymond Green, they had
Mark
Andrew
Jackson would like
Bogut.
a word.
I'm just telling you, I'm not hating on Steve Kerr. I think Steve Kerr is a great coach. I think he's going down as a Hall of Famer. But I'm trying to tell you that he had so much talent on his team that it was an inevitability that he was going to win. It wasn't just because they were great. Now, the examples that came this as the outliers that I talked about, the Nets, right, had all the talent and were terribly coached and were terrible as a team. They were not cohesive as a team. Coaching would have came in and made them a team. That's what would have mattered because their talent was there. But in the 90s and early 2000s, the talent made it inevitable outside of the Spurs dynasty, which I just mentioned. And then, as I said, the Warriors dynasty, I make the argument, and maybe I'm alone
I
on
will
this. I'll stand on this
say
mountain, but I
that
do
in
think that they
recent
would have
memory,
lost.
the
Go
only
ahead.
team that really didn't matter when it came to coaching to a degree was the 2020 Lakers championship
Okay.
because that team was overstacked with talent in all aspects.
That
And maybe the
do
Bucks
earlier
and
than
that
that.
and
Go
me
go
being a
back to
Bucks guy,
2000.
the 2021 title, a lot of people will say that there were a lot of injuries from players and Budenholzer wasn't the best coach per se. But he did what he had to, but it was more so Giannis willing the team like Dirk did in 2011 with the Mavs. It was one of those type of years. But as far as coaching goes, I will say for the big part of 2010s, it was Coach Popovich, Coach Spoelstra, and Steve Kerr. Those were the three that pretty much ran that era of the 2010s.
Nah, I'm about to bring this way back because we not gonna dodge this whole thing about Mike talking about the East was weak back then. First of all, When we talk about 2000, 2001, in the middle of the Kobe and Shaq era, you had the 76ers with Allen
76ers
Iverson.
were weak. Allen Iverson carried the 76ers. Try again.
And they still went to a finals.
Right, and they were trash, just like the freaking Cavaliers that went to the finals when LeBron brought them to the finals. That team was trash.
They had to face Kobe and Shaq.
That team was name another All-Star. Okay,
then you got
let's do the exercise. Let's do the exercise. Name another All-Star on that 76ers team other than Allen Iverson.
Mutombo? In that era?
Mutombo? Mutombo was like 95 years old. What are we talking about right now?
All-Star back in that time.
He was an All-Star with the Hawks. He was an All-Star with the 76ers because they had no other centers over 7 feet. Is that what we're saying?
I'm sorry.
He averaged 6 points a game.
Starters weren't
was he not playing?
As far as centers back then?
He averaged 6 points a game.
Yes, but the West, no.
Okay.
Listen, you had to make adjustments for Shaq. Then you got the Bucks.
The fact that we put Mutombo in the conversation as if he makes the 76ers valid is hilarious. But continue.
You had the Bucks.
Who was on the Bucks? Ray Allen.
Glenn Robinson, Sam Cassell. They
that
were
was
essentially your
now.
three.
So they had no front court. That's what I'm hearing you say. Awesome.
Of course, no front court.
So no front court are going against Shaq.
But again,
you
can let Shaq do. Listen,
I'm telling you that the East was trash. And you're trying to tell me that a team with no front court is great.
You don't have to have a front court. You can let your front court do what he want to.
Where?
When you can.
Where? On what planet? What planet has a front court?
Ray Allen can outshoot this man.
Or the backcourt only been relevant and no front court. You tell me you could have no front court, get no rebounds, win the game.
Well, no, Scottie Pippen's front court.
Bro, we talking about Ray Allen, the second best 3-point shooter of all time. And Shaq's just dunking and making twos, and Ray Allen is splashing threes.
Better question. Did that team with the Bucks make the championship?
No, they didn't.
Oh, fantastic, because they had no front court. That's what I'm just trying to tell you. Get out of here. Being ridiculous. Don't bring up the Bucks like they're in a conversation of
you gotta let me finish. You gotta let me finish what I was saying.
Go ahead. Bring up another one.
Here's why. Because you got Toronto Raptors with Vince Carter. It was Vince Carter led, but he didn't have a whole bunch of supporting cast.
Yeah, nobody with them. Okay, cool. So
I just said he didn't have a supporting cast.
You had all-stars on the East because there was an all-star team. Yes. Was the East good? No.
Absolutely not.
So that's what I just said.
You have to, because again, at the end of the day, what we are saying, coaching matters. If you had a head coach there that could do and put the systems in place.
Okay, let's rewind. Are you telling me that if Phil Jackson had been on the 76ers team, that the 76ers would have won a title against Shaq and Kobe?
Yes, because
here's 0%. Absolutely not.
Here's why.
Everything that you said is thrown out.
Here's why. At the end of the day, you need a head coach to sit and tell your star basketball player, yo, chill out against the refs. You know they're going to target you. You know this. Phil Jackson is like that with Metal World Peace because you know they was trying to get that man up out of there.
They won the series 4-1. That team with the Lakers went, what was it, 16-1 in the playoffs? 16-1 in the playoffs. And you're telling me that a Phil Jackson-led 76ers team, as it was constructed, not with Shaq and Kobe, we talk about with Dikembe Mutombo as your number 2 scoring option behind Allen Iverson. You're telling me that the coaching would have elevated them to win the title that year?
You don't know this because here's the thing. With the Lakers,
wild.
The Lakers have the triangle offense. Phil takes the triangle offense to the 76ers.
Cool.
Could that have worked?
Who's running?
Maybe not. We don't know.
Time out. Do you know about the triangle offense?
I know a little bit about the triangle offense.
Let's go do the triangle offense real quick, just for the sake of conversation. You have to have, with the triangle offense, right? You're basing it off of 3 people, right? And you're passing the ball inside, passing the ball outside, and basing everything off of screens and runs, right? Cool. Yeah. Most of the offenses in the NBA are predicated upon the triangle offense right now, correct? Awesome.
Correct.
We just talked about the team with the 76ers. You need 3 people, bare minimum, to run it effectively. Who would the people be that's going to run the offense? The offense is what you're talking about. For the 76ers, the year that Allen Iverson went to the title game. Because you're not running the offense through Dikembe Mutombo. You're not running it through Aaron McKee. You're not Theo Ratliff? What? Listen, I'm trying to tell you the East
Eric Snow, who was a point guard. You have Allen Iverson was a 2 guard. Eric Snow
Allen Iverson was a 2. Who was a 1?
The point.
So
You
who?
had
Sorry, who's the
Tyrone
one?
Hill, who was a
Tyrone
slasher.
Hill's
George
terrible.
Gentry was a vet.
Kim Mutombo's terrible.
Jermaine Jones was
Jermaine
like
Jones
a
terrible.
swing guy. You had your two centers who were just kind of like bodies to try to get
Who
Shaq
was
to
the
foul.
one? I'm sorry. Who was the one?
It was Eric Snow.
Terrible. Try again. All right.
He
My
wasn't
point
terrible.
exactly.
For his time, he wasn't terrible. He was a decent point guard.
He was.
We're not going.
When we say decent, we mean that he made the NBA. But if we're talking about like, is he a game changer that could have run the triangle offense and won a title against Shaq and Kobe? Absolutely not. Allen Iverson carried that team. I'm trying to tell you that the East was weak.
Again,
what
I'm saying
Allen
is
Iverson was one of a kind.
Absolutely.
But Eric Snow was, you know how some guards, they usually, in 2K, they usually have like two-way guards. One could play offense or playmaking, and then they play defense. But for the Sixers, it was different. AI was a guy that could score, and he could steal the ball. But Eric Snow was more there for his defense.
Eric Snow was there to cheerlead
like that, but he was there for defense.
Allen Iverson. Eric Snow was there to cheerlead and encourage Allen Iverson to score points. Eric Snow was terrible. Theo Ratliff was terrible. The Dikembe Mutombo was terrible. They were all terrible.
Mutombo averaged a double-double in that playoff series. In that playoff,
he was the only. He was the second. It was like 4 700s in the NFL and the NBA that year. Listen, of course, he averaged a double-double. He averaged 10 points and 10 boards.
Of his career, he was still a force to be reckoned with. He gave
defensively, yes, not offensively.
He averaged 13 in the playoffs altogether.
13 is not a lot of points. That's a little bit of points.
For a center, 13.9 points is a lot in 2001. Centers were not scoring that much.
Time out. Shaq was in 2001. What was Shaq averaging? 27?
Shaq is different.
Shaq is not a lot. Shaq was Yao Ming was in that time frame.
We're talking 7'1", 340 against Mutombo was like 7 foot, probably 270, 280. That's a different body type. Point is,
we go back to the argument that I'm making. Chris Webber was 6'10" and was averaging more points than Dikembe Mutombo. There's a bunch of centers.
Power forward. Mutombo's playing center.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch of centers. Vlade Divac was averaging more points than Dikembe Mutombo.
Divac's more of a finesse guy. He's not a defensive guy.
Listen, the East was weak. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We can go line by line and imagine it all you want, but the East was terrible, and it was inevitable from a talent perspective that Kobe and Shaq were going to win. It didn't matter if it was Phil Jackson. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
All right. Well, we can come back on this later. Mike feel the way he want to feel. I'm going to let him have his moment right now.
I'm about to end up winning the title as a crash out king because y'all got me.
You're going to have it. You're going to have it. You're going to have it. It's debatable, but I'm going to let you live for right now. Golly, I lost my spot because Mike over here messing around. Oh, my head. All right, here we go. I got some would you rather questions. NBA. I got some good stuff. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
So I'm ready to hear these.
Let's go.
I got a good one for you, Jordan. I'm gonna let you take the first one too. This is gonna be a good one. You holding on to something, Jordan? Hey, look. Would you rather see LeBron James retire tomorrow or see Giannis never win another championship?
I'd rather see LeBron retire tomorrow.
He's a big Giannis fan. This is ridiculous.
I would rather see LeBron.
He loves Giannis. Giannis is his spirit animal. You can't diminish it like that.
Like, I would be fine if Bron said I'm done tonight. Rather than lose and
loves Giannis. This is ridiculous.
Lose themselves over a LeBron loss. All those NBA pundits, especially on YouTube, waiting for LeBron to do something wrong so they could get on their lives to talk about it. I'd rather see LeBron retire.
You know what? I agree. I would rather see LeBron retire than Giannis never win another title. And it's because LeBron's already done it for 23 years. If LeBron was in year 15, different conversation. I'm like, forget Giannis. But LeBron in year 23, if he retired tomorrow,
that was a bit too easy, honestly.
So it's fine.
All right. So, oh God, y'all gotta be good on that one. Mike, would you rather have Kevin Durant on your team but he refused to pass in clutch moments, or have Luka Doncic, who always passes but never hit the game winner?
I'm gonna take KD because that's already KD's reality. What are we talking about? So do I want to live in the actual right now of KD, or do I want to live in the non-reality of Luka? I want to live in the right now reality of KD. KD, don't pass the ball. You're a 7 foot guy with one guard skills. Shoot the ball, take all the shots, get all the rebounds, and take PTO like Kawhi Leonard after the game. It's fine.
I mean, Kevin Durant has more assist average than some guards. Just saying.
Who, KD?
Yes.
Well, that's because some guards are like Eric Snow, who's a bum.
Like KD averaged, KD has
Here you
5.5 assists on average for his career. That's more than some guards who are supposed to assist. So we'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah, and if he never assisted ever again and only scored the ball, we would still love KD. I want KD to just turn into Kobe and take all the shots because he's a 7 foot, is a 7 footer with one guard skills. I don't care if he passes the ball again. To be honest,
I need you to shut up, Mike. I need you to shut up. We don't need KD to do that, because if KD actually learns to do that, he might become unstoppable. So I need you.
Might as well just.
If he learns how to do that, if KD learns how to be like Kobe and get that Mamba mentality and just start shooting the ball and grab a brush and brush his hair, he might be unstoppable. Like,
if he brushes his hair, he might be unstoppable immediately.
You're kind of wishing for too much when it comes to the brushing hair. I know it's a sponsorship just now, but you're kind of going too far. I mean, we got one step at a time. Or
one step at a time. Bro, it's literally
it just hits wood. Like that's what happens when he brushes hair. Like we're one thing at a time.
This is not the would you rather I said.
He should get the Crash Out King just for that take, bro.
I mean, what are we talking about here? Oh my God.
Oh God.
One step at a time,
moving
brother.
right along.
Moving along. Would you rather have the Mavs trade Anthony Davis for 2 first-round picks, or the Warriors trade Steph Curry for 3 All-Stars?
2 first-round picks, Mavs.
Wait, time out. The Mavs don't have him. He's on the Timberwolves.
I would get more playing time with my 2 first-round picks than AD.
We said. I thought you said Anthony Edwards.
No,
Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis.
Oh,
2 first-round picks. Yes.
So
they'll play more than he will.
I thought he was on short-term disability. I forgot he was still in the league. I don't have to worry
about them getting injured with a poke rather than Anthony Davis. He's allergic to just touch in general. Every single time he gets on the court, I have to worry about will something hit him or not. If a bottle hits him, he'll get injured. Like
I don't know. I don't think you know. That. But something here's breaking news for you. I don't know if you know this. Anthony Davis has an allergy to wood, which is why when he gets on the court, he gets injured.
God.
You know if y'all knew that.
I'm not doing this with you, Mike.
As soon as they put him on a blacktop, he's chilling. But
I'm not
on
doing
the wood?
We're not.
We're not doing this. I got 2 more for y'all. Y'all, I got the 2 best ones for y'all. Would you rather have Shaq back in his prime for 1 full season, or have Kobe Bryant for 5 seasons?
Kobe for 5 seasons? Kobe
for 5.
Wait, here's a better question. There would have been on what team though? Because if you tell me I get a year of Shaq on the Warriors, I might take that ring. Versus you tell me I get 5 years of Kobe on the Bobcats or Hornets or whatever the hell their name is, I'll probably take Shaq. So it just kind of depends there.
I would have the 5 seasons of Kobe, because I know with Kobe, I'm going to get 100% effort regardless. With Shaq, I have to temper my expectations on him.
What you mean temper your expectations? This is Shaq in his prime.
But you know Shaq was lazy at times. Even though he was the best, he was lazy. So I have to wonder, which Shaq are we getting? Are we getting the Shaq that's lazy, or the Shaq that wants to be in there? With Kobe,
Shaq in his prime, for the record, a lazy Shaq. Let's imagine that they're the same, one and the same. Shaq in his prime is lazy Shaq. My man was averaging 30 and 30. I don't give a damn. You be as lazy as you want to be. If you're giving me 30 and 30 or 30 and 20 or 25 and 25 or something ridiculous, the numbers he was putting up. A year of Shaq, depending on the team, is the critical part. You put a year of Shaq with the Knicks right now, as constructed, absolutely give me the title with Shaq.
So
But if you talk
you
about
replace him with
5
Mitchell
years of
Robinson?
Kobe, if you put 5 years of Kobe on the Warriors, then absolutely you give me Kobe. But it's the team
No,
that's going to play a factor.
I'm asking, are you replacing him with Mitchell Robinson, who's the Knicks center currently?
I would replace any center in the NBA with
I'm
Shaq.
talking about specifically for the Knicks. If you're replacing Mitch for Shaq, okay, I'm with that.
Yes.
I
Instant
replace any
championship.
center in the NBA with Shaq.
Shaq in his prime,
Period.
I'm taking every center out. It doesn't matter
I
the
don't care
team.
who they are. Shaq.
The only
It's
reason
Shaq.
the only reason I'm asking is because a lot of centers nowadays are better conditioned. They can run faster than Shaq could. I know Shaq wasn't the fastest, he was the most powerful, but
In
that's the
Shaq's
only reason I
prime,
asked.
Shaq was pretty
Block
nifty.
Shaq, bro. You gonna try to block Shaq, you gonna be posted every night. They
The
gonna
only
talk
one that's
about how
blocking
that
Shaq
man
is probably
Shaq was
Shaq's
Wimby
gonna
because he's
collect a
got
whole bunch
like
of flagrants.
6 inches on him.
He can't play in this era. He's gonna at one elbow will kick him out the game.
That's true.
Bro, Shaq clearly wouldn't throw an elbow, but he's gonna
It
dunk
doesn't
all over your
matter.
favorite
His elbow's
star.
that strong where it'll kick somebody out the camera like boom. It's a
Listen,
flagrant too. He's
listen.
gonna get ejected.
Let me tell you what you're gonna get. This is how we know. I got a question at this point. I gotta put the defend that up there. This is what you're gonna get with Shaq. Prime Shaq, matter of fact. First of all, he's gonna keep McDonald's in business.
Wait. When we
That's
say
number
prime
one.
Shaq, are you talking Lakers Shaq or are you talking Orlando Shaq?
Bro, it don't even, I can do I get both? It don't matter.
Those are two different Shaqs, though.
Shaq's gonna
Because
get
the
16
Orlando
checks
Shaq
before
could
game
play in this
10.
era. He had enough speed. Lakers Shaq was slower and was more back at the basket.
It does
Bro,
not
I'm
matter.
just gonna
So
lob that joint to Shaq and just let him dunk on your favorite
the
center.
thing is,
Like,
Shaq
come on,
can't
bro.
play the way he played now because Shaq's gonna get those techs before week game 10. He's gonna hang on the rim. That's gonna be a tech. He's gonna elbow somebody. That's a flagrant two. He's gonna taunt somebody. That's
Well,
another.
wait.
No.
In that instance, though, everybody that plays Shaq is going to foul out by the end of the first period in today's NBA. Hack and Shaq was a thing back then. Right now, right now, they would just let him score. They would just watch him score. They move out the way. They don't play no defense now.
Exactly.
They would send somebody on a mission to just get him ejected from the game.
No, they wouldn't. Here's what
Yes,
you gotta
they
understand.
would.
Shaq was very mild tempered. The only reason he actually got into it was because literally they were playing games with him. These younger players now do not know how to get in the players' heads.
They have
Shaq
players
is
now that are
literally
out
dropping.
just to get fouls. That's
Who's
the only
guarding
thing
Shaq,
they're
bro?
there for right now, to collect fouls on players.
Bro, who's guarding Shaq? You can't even answer the question. Who's guarding Shaq? The answer is nobody. Shaq is going to poster every single person you put on him.
I don't care if it's a center that's guarding him. I don't care if it's a crossing guard that's guarding. I don't care. They're gonna foul him.
You know what? You know what they would do? They would only shoot threes against Shaq. You'd have everybody playing like Karl Anthony Towns and just shooting threes. They wouldn't even come to the post. They'd be pulling a Wimby. They'd be shooting threes at 7'6". They wouldn't even come to the post.
They would have 5 people in the paint and be like, Shaq, I dare you to shoot.
Bro, y'all about to get me crash out. That is gonna dunk with 5 people there.
I would dare Shaq to shoot a 3.
You gonna see this, and then you gonna see this. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. I wouldn't even go in the post. I would be only at the 3-point line. I would never even go in the paint. I'll only shoot in the NBA right now. All they do is shoot threes anyway. It's like in the NFL. They don't like field goals. In the NBA, they don't like 2-pointers. It's considered a bad shot.
We gotta move on. I got the final would you rather.
Go ahead.
Now, hold on, because my wife actually answered this one. I will tell you what my wife said on this one. So, would you rather have your team always make the playoffs, but never reach the finals?
Why you got to bring up old shit?
Finals, or make the finals once every 5 years, but lose every time? My wife chose the first one because she was like, that's why I'm a Ravens fan now. And I was like, well, shoot, you must be allergic to winning Super Bowls. But neither here nor there.
I thought you were talking about the Steelers for a second there. That's why I was like disrespectful.
Listen, don't worry. I know I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. I already know. My couch is set up. Look, I'm good to go.
So once every 5 years and lose, or go to the playoffs every year and not get out the first round?
Nope, it just says never reached the finals. So you can
So they
kind
can make
of
it to the Western Conference Finals, but not the finals.
yes.
So they're the Seattle. So they're the Seattle Supersonics. Okay.
And what was the stipulation with making the finals?
They lose every 5 years. Like they go once every 5 years, but they lose every time. So they're either the Brooklyn Nets or they're the Seattle Supersonics. That's the equivalent.
I would do this. I would do the prior. I would do the first one.
Go
Um,
to the playoffs.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
probably I'm gonna probably go with the second one because at least I can pretend like my team is good. And be like, bro, we was in the title game. You got blown out. We was there. You ain't even make it. Like I can see myself saying that. Versus the first one, they're like, bro, you can't even make a Western. It'd be the Josh Allen take all
Oh
over again.
God,
So I'm still getting feedback on that. It's hilarious.
it's crazy, bro. I'm still defending this game changer, game manager thing. We not even gonna talk. I'm still defending it to this day. Crazy work. All right, we're gonna shift gears now. We're gonna shift gears again. We're going to the NFL time. So NFL time. This is actually one of my favorite topics to discuss. I've been waiting for this topic. I'm so glad we've gotten to this topic. Has the NFL fallen in love with the wrong quarterback prototype? As everybody knows, the landscape of quarterbacks has changed. It's been more athletic, more mobile quarterbacks versus the pocket present quarterbacks. But the obsession towards getting them has been sacrificing longevity and consistency. Our recent examples of that, Kyler Murray. You also have Josh Allen. You could put that up on that list. You can put technically you could put Sam Darnold on this list, but honestly, are the teams are they really falling in love with the wrong quarterback prototype? And I'm gonna start this one off because this is one of the things that I've harped on this a lot. Y'all already know this conversation for a little bit. Honestly, I don't think the teams are developing quarterbacks like they used to. And here's the reason why. We talked about this, or we might have talked about this on the previous episode. You used to have quarterbacks who would come in and they're sitting, like you're guaranteed sitting 1 to 2 years. Like you're sitting behind this quarterback, you're learning everything that you need to learn. The latest and the most recent example that we have is Jordan Love learning from Aaron Rodgers. He sat for 2 years under Aaron Rodgers and then took the helm, and he was pretty much a spitting image of Aaron Rodgers, except more picks were thrown. So, but the whole thing is, I don't think quarterbacks are getting the type of development that they need to get, and it's hurting their brand, which is why I don't feel for teams. When I heard about, was it the Oregon quarterback that went back? He went back to Oregon.
Yeah, Dante Moore.
Yeah. So I don't feel for the teams at this point. Like my whole thing is coaching, kind of like what we just talked about the NBA. Coaching matters. Like when we talk about head coaching matters in the NFL because head coaching makes a difference between you being a 1-15 team or you being a 16-3 team heading to your Super Bowl, i.e. Sam Darnold. Like that's one of our more recent examples. Sam Darnold he went through quarterback hell at the Jets and in Carolina. He had his resurgency playing under Brock Purdy, even though he went 0-1 in this season and his turn. But then went to Minnesota and went 14-3 and found success there. And then moved on, got a $100 million contract in Seattle who believed in him. And now his team is playing in the Super Bowl. So I'm just taking it on head coaching is really about getting wins now, and they're not caring about quarterback development. Kyler Murray is another example because, like, let's be for real. If your head coaching was doing their job, we wouldn't hear about and that was another thing. Like, how do you let your your team leak information out like that. Like if you're really a head coach, stuff like that don't leak out. You made your quarterback a victim for no reason, trying to hurt his brand. So I'm gonna pass it off to Jordan. I want to hear your take.
So we're talking about if quarterbacks are not really being developed the way they should. I think the expectation is often too fast. We want them to develop into superstars way too fast. We don't give them the proper learning curve that they should. And because the NFL is a what have you done for me lately franchise or league. We see that with quarterbacks like Sam Darnold. Prime example. The Jets did him a favor by letting him go because they realized that the makeup of the team wasn't proper for him. But he found a way to make things work. I mean, in Carolina, it was I think a battle with Baker Mayfield, but I think he had his training there, good training there. Then he had a year in San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken, behind either Garoppolo or Purdy. Then he went to Minnesota, where he was able to use his skills to shine. And now he's in the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. You have to give these quarterbacks time to develop. You sometimes throw them out there to the wolves and wonder why they're getting picked apart. I think you have to give them the proper training. Like in college, they get 2 or 3 years to one, I guess two to sit down and just watch the elder quarterback play, and then they'll get two to actually be out there and play and learn offense. That's how these quarterbacks normally do it. Like Green Bay had the best example of it. You sit Aaron Rodgers down for there's 2 or 3 years, and then watch him cook the rest of his time there. They have time to learn the scheme. They have time to learn the receivers there, and then once they get out there, it's like okay, one out, the next goes in. For example, we could talk about Patrick Mahomes. He was sitting behind Alex Smith for a year, but look at what happened after he sat for that year. He was going at it like nothing was changing. He did good. I think it's best that we give the quarterbacks chances to work, to develop, rather than just throw them out there. And if they're not good within the first year or two, they're a bust. No, no, no. Give them a chance. I think it's not necessarily a type. It's the franchise giving the quarterbacks a chance to actually grow. You drafted them there for a reason. Let it show.
So my takeaway is a couple of things. I think you guys both bringing up some valid points. The NFL is not a development league. It's not a developmental league. They need to have a developmental league in the NFL. That's a different conversation. But there's not a developmental league. I think that's why there's been a paradigm shift in the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks. If you look right now, the quarterbacks that are being drafted are the quarterbacks that have been in college longer and had more experience, as opposed to the ones that are leaving early. So, for example, um, Bo Nix came out. I'm not a fan of Bo Nix, but Bo Nix had 6 years in college. Look who else came out doing that. Brock Purdy had 4 years in. Right, he was of course the seventh round pick and last pick in the draft and proven things other than that, right? But we can keep going and giving additional examples in that space. Dylan Gabriel was a third round pick, 6 years of experience, right? Cam Ward was 6 years of experience, number one overall pick. So the paradigm has shifted from getting the young gun to the Anthony Richardsons of the world, for example, right? To actually getting the more experienced quarterbacks. That's why the transfer portal is so critical right now in college football, because you could get a guy that's already been groomed, that's already gone through the hellfire of playing for a terrible team and already had the adversity and already struggled and already improved and already shown progress. And now they've already been developed and now they're going to the league. I think that's going to continue. Uh, Even though there's some fantastic players coming out next year, but I think it's going to be a lot more of players going back to college, getting that NIL money, getting the guaranteed bag, and then going to the league after another year of development. Because if the NFL is not a developmental league, and you got to also think of it this way, most of the coaches aren't quarterback gurus. There's there's probably a handful of quarterback gurus in the entire league. Sean McVay comes to mind, right? Ben Johnson comes to mind. But overall, most of the passing game coordinators, the quarterbacks coaches, the offensive coordinators, the head coaches aren't quarterback whisperers. I think what's going to really happen on the paradigm shift, and this is probably my hot take, if you will, I think that there's going to be more former quarterbacks getting into coaching and having a lot of success developing those that have already been in college for extra time or spent the entire 4 years in college at a program. I think them transferring, it used to be a negative thing. It's now almost encouraged because now they got to see different systems. They got to play with different players. They got to almost have an acclimation process similar to what the NFL has. So that's kind of my takeaway. I probably could have said more about that, but those are probably my takeaway.
All right. Well, I'm glad we had a nice little discussion about it. Because now we're gonna put your skills to the test, fellas. Got a blind ranking system.
Oh Lord.
1 through 8. I got 8 quarterback wide receiver duos. I
This
need
is
you to
right
rank them
now, or this is all time?
right now.
Okay.
Right now. Right now. I'll do one for all time at another episode. It's coming. Just be prepared. All right. Here we go. So again, rank them 1 through 8.
We have to
As
agree.
always, huh?
We have to agree.
Yes, you do. As always, just about to
I
mention.
gotta ask. Gotta figure it out.
You already know you gotta agree on this. So number 1 on this list, C.J. Stroud and Stephon Diggs. Oh wait. Sorry.
CJ Stroud and Stephon Diggs, they don't play on the same team.
Yeah. Take that back. I'm sorry. I was a little far ahead. There's a wrong person. C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins.
1 through 8.
Yeah, 1 through 8.
1 through 8.
I'm gonna say 6.
You said 6? Yeah, 6.
I like Nico Collins, but he's injured all the time. I like CJ Stroud, but he's been terrible in the playoffs. And I have recency bias where now I'm kind of annoyed that I have him in fantasy. I like him. I like them. But I think 1, they're too young. 2, they're too injured. 3, they don't have enough of a team around him. In 2 years, you re-ask this question, they're going to be in the top 3. But right now, they're number 6.
All right. Well, I got your favorite quarterback up there next. That's for Mike. Number 2, Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir.
I like Josh Allen as a player. He's an elite talent, just not an elite player. I'm going to go number 4. Number 3. Number 4. Khalil Shakir is only 750 yards as a receiver. He doesn't add enough to the game. If we're talking about it, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown come to mind, right? We're talking about it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jared Goff come to mind. If we're talking about it, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, or even Joe Burrow, T. Higgins comes to mind.
I'll say 5.
I was going to say 4. Whatever. 5 is fine with me. I think 4 is realistic, though, especially because we're going to get blown up in the comments about how we're hating on Josh Allen again. I'd say 4.
Yeah.
Josh, you're getting blown up in the comments.
I don't care.
Every day, all the time. But I tell the truth. I say 4. 4 is probably realistic.
All right, we'll go with 4 then. Fine.
He's an MVP. He's a former MVP. He's not winning MVP this year. He's a former MVP. 4.
All right. You got Josh Allen.
Won MVP that year.
Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir at 4. All right, next on the list, Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers.
3.
5.
I wish I would have put Josh Allen at 5 now because
I'm going based off of the receivers at this point.
Or 4.
For the quarterbacks,
quarterback wise, he's fantastic. Also, Zay Flowers is a Pro Bowler. But I don't think that they're lower than Josh Allen. I don't think that Josh Allen carries enough to make Khalil Shakir matter. I also think that Zay Flowers matters and Lamar Jackson matters.
Then how about this? Move Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir to 5 and put Lamar and Zay at 4.
Can we move
Y'all
him?
stuck at 4.
You said we can't move him.
Yeah, it's a blind Rayco.
5 or 3.
You said 5?
5 or 3. I say part of me says 3. Part of me says 5. I feel like Josh Allen them should have been 5 and this should have been 4. But the sweet spot for me is 4. So I'll trust your acumen. If you want to go 5, that's fine. But I do think that 4 would have been the right spot for them.
Okay.
So 5?
Yeah, 5.
All right.
All right. Y'all the boss. All right, cool. Lamar and Zay at number 5. Give me a sec. I was writing it down for for what's called. All right, next on the list, Jordan Love and Jaden Reed.
Jaden Reed is the one that you picked? That's not even the best receiver that they have. I'm going to go 8.
I'm going 7.
8. I can put multiples above them. That's why I'm saying 8. Because Jaden Reed is their best receiver. Their best receiver is
Christian Watson.
No, he's not their best receiver at all. Their best receiver is Romeo Doubs.
Well, it's debatable.
Yeah. All right.
Not debatable. Look at the stats. He's been number 1 all season. He was number 1 last season too.
Reliable, but
and their only 1,000-yard receiver.
Hey, you got a point.
It's definitely not Jaden Reed, though. I know because I have Jaden Reed in fantasy, and I've been annoyed all season. 8.
I mean, fantasy aside, a lot of people say that they're a potent combination, but we'll stick with that. We'll stick with 8.
All right, 8 it is. All right, next on the list, Patrick Mahomes and Rashid Rice.
2.
3.
3 is gone. No, 3 is still there.
3 is still available.
3 is good.
All right, next on the list, the Prince himself, Trevor Lawrence, and Brian Thomas Jr.
2.
6.
Combination-wise, 2. Yes.
6. Amon-Ra St. Brown.
C.J. Stroud is 6.
Jared Goff is better. Burrow and Chase is better.
C.J. Stroud
and Puka is better.
6.
6 is good.
No, C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins have 6 already. So it's 1, 2, and 7.
7. 7's fine.
7?
All right.
We messed up a few times, but it's not too bad.
Nah, you messed it up. I was gonna put them in a different order. We good though.
By
the way, side note, my homie from way back in the sandbox, I'd asked him that question about Shawn Michaels' Triple H. He said Shawn Michaels.
Let's go, baby.
You just catching this L all over, Joy. You still trying to defend this man Triple H.
He loves
I'm not trying to defend.
Triple H is his Giannis of the WWE.
I just asked my boy. He's a wrestling fan. He has a whole bunch of custom WWE belts, and he actually met Sting.
Lucky guy.
All right, here we go. The last 2 on the blind rank them. Remember, you only got 2, number 2 and number 1.
Oh, cool.
Next on the list, Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf.
Fuck. 8.
2. It's 2 and 1. 2
9.
and 1.
12. 35. Oh, goodness. Absolutely not number 2.
You don't have a choice.
I'm going to say number 9.
You had Trevor Lawrence and you told me 7.
Off the list, number 9. This list is horrible.
For a reason. I told you no reason.
Number 11. This list is horrible.
No, he chose this for a reason, but I told you
number 13. How much lower can I get off the list? They're not on the list. This is a ridiculous list.
Listen, you decided to do this.
I did not decide this.
Exactly.
You came up with this foolishness. Don't blame me for this.
This to happen.
This was a trash.
I put the Prince, and y'all decided to rank him number 7. I gave you Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers. You said number 5 out of all places.
I said
so.
3.
That's already crazy.
I said 3.
No. Oh, you know what? You are right. No, you said 3 or 4, but Josh Allen was 4. Jordan said 5, and you were just like, all right, let's just go with that. So do not put this on me.
This is your fault.
Don't put this on me either.
DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers, 12. 25. I got that. That's 25.
Do not put this on me.
They're number 25 out of 8.
All right. So 2 or 1?
2.
You gotta choose something, Mike.
You have to choose 2 or 1. I'm saying 2.
Because number 0. Number 0.
Number 2.
You gotta choose something. Listen. You had the opportunity to choose any other number. And you left number 2 and number 1 out there. So
I choose number 9. So whatever Jordan says is fine with me. On a 1 to 8 scale, they are number 9. Okay, they're terrible.
Hey, number 2.
Number 2.
Oh,
final answer.
We did not cook on this list.
Final answer.
Big fail. This is the biggest fail we done had so far.
We did fine. We did fine.
Sure didn't. Now,
so comment section, before I reveal number 1, y'all gotta let me know. Did we cook?
Nope.
Or I'm gonna tell you now.
Nope.
Y'all failed at this.
Take,
Don't put me in this.
take away the
So here
eggs,
we
take
go.
out the fridge, take out the
Rank,
stove. We did not cook on this list.
All right, bet.
rank in order. You have Jordan Love and Jaden Reed at number 8.
That's good.
The Prince, Trevor Lawrence, and Brian Thomas Jr. at number 7.
I'm okay with
CJ
that.
Stroud and Nico Collins at number 6.
With that.
Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers at number 5.
That's where he messed up.
Josh Allen and Khalil Shakir at number 4.
Great with that.
Patrick Mahomes and Rashid Rice, number 3.
That's also where we messed up.
Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf,
At number
2.
9. At number 9. No.
Number 1, which you have to choose by default.
Why don't you put like Case Keenum and like somebody?
If it was Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, I would have been fine with that.
No, I'm gonna let y'all know. You at least cook the number 1. Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown.
Okay, I can take that. You could have gave us Puka and
hey, I'm fine with that.
Right? You could have gave us Burrow
and
Higgins or Burrow.
I am fine with that
list. Gave us
Amon-Ra
St.
Brown. As long as that was number 1, I am fine with that.
I'll say it like this. You could have gave us better opportunities to actually make a real list. This list is ridiculous.
I was going to choose Matt Stafford and Puka.
Yeah, that was still the number 1.
But
you could have chosen Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That would have also been number 1.
You gotta understand, the Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf was too much of an easy.
Mike,
it was too much of a number 9 on a top 8
I told you
level.
It was 2.
I knew y'all would fall for it. That's why I put them in there, and I waited for Aaron Rodgers and DK for next to last.
I told you, Trevor Lawrence supposed to be number 2, but
all right. So we got 2 more topics.
Number 2 or Patrick Mahomes is number 2 with that list.
We got 2 more topics to go through. Number 1, the first topic out of here is really topic number 4. We gotta address it. Recent reports just came out. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot lock. He's considered the greatest coach ever. 6 rings with the Patriots. However,
2 with the Giants.
You said what?
And he got 2 with the Giants.
He has 2 with the Giants as well. However, he is confirmed not to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Did the committee cook with this decision, or is it justified?
No, they did not.
All right, Crash Out.
And it's on you, Jordan.
Go ahead, Jordan. He's about to get his crowd right now.
When I was younger, this is coming from a person who hated the Patriots because I always thought they were cheating. And it got confirmed with Spygate and Flatgate. But you can't deny 8 rings, bruh. I'm sorry. I need water. As a coach to get 8 rings, you don't get first ballot. That means the fix is coming from inside the house. And apparently it was some owner or something that said, "Nah, we ain't with the fam." I'm like, y'all bugging. Y'all thugging. Come on. Bill Belichick, New England Patriots, Tom Brady, 16-0. What other franchise did that in this era? Let me know when y'all find one. Let me know when y'all find a team that won almost, I think, 10 or 11 division titles in a row, almost. Come on now. That's just straight hate. And I didn't like the Patriots that much, but this is straight hate. Come on now. Like, what are we gonna do now? We're gonna say that we're gonna say Aaron Rodgers is not a first ballot Hall of Famer now because he takes ashwagandha. Like, what's gonna be next? What's really gonna be next? They're gonna say somebody's not gonna be a first ballot because they woke up on the wrong side of the bed. It's gonna be something stupid now because that's where we're not going now. Stuck on stupid. Bill Belichick should be first ballot Hall of Famer, unanimous, no question. And again, this is coming from somebody who didn't like the Patriots, nor did I like Tom Brady, but I respect their coaching pedigree, I respect their playing pedigree, I respect everything about them. What is going on with these owners? Like, are they sniffing the good stuff or something? What are they doing? I was fuming on the way home because I'm thinking to myself, ain't no way you give somebody else Hall of Famer over Bill Belichick. That should be unanimous. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Belichick cussed him out right now. I would not be surprised. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still mad over that.
To me, this was the equivalent of Barry Bonds not being in the Hall of Fame. It was just as egregiously silly in that capacity. Now, I think it was the most obvious choice to make him a first ballot Hall of Famer. Like, this is the no-brainer situation of no-brainer situations. But I can respect that they tried to pretend like Spygate and Deflategate was they. This is the problem. We have a problem with it. They already penalized them for it. They took a first-round pick for Spygate. Then they had, I think Brady had to sit the first 3 games out for Deflategate or some shit like that. My point is that
Oh, it was 3.
it was 3 games. Okay, I was right. Um, I don't like that you're double penalizing them when it actually matters for the Hall of Fame to do that. I know this much. You better penalize Brady too, because he's a big part of that. And if Brady goes
And they're
first
not
ballot
going to do that.
and Belichick didn't go first ballot, now we understand that the fix is in. Now you're just playing personal favorites. You don't like Bill Belichick. Just, you know who else they didn't like that they didn't put in the Hall of Fame first ballot? Um, T.O. T.O. wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer, right? Um,
That's so stupid that they. How
I'm,
do
I'm
you
just saying
not?
there's been quite a few that just didn't make sense. Here's the interesting thing as well. They have a limit on how many people they put in the Hall of Fame in the NFL each year. I think it's 3. So do I think there's 3 people that's better than Bill Belichick for the Hall of Fame? Absolutely not. This is ridiculous. But I will say that he should have definitely been a first ballot. If he's not second ballot, then throw away the entire committee.
So, just for the record, everybody, to add on to Mike's take, I'm not sure. I think Don Shula is in the Hall of Fame with 347 wins. Guess who's second in coaching wins with 333? Bill Belichick.
Belichick.
How do you not put him in the Hall of Fame unanimously? He also, Bill Belichick has the most postseason wins and Super Bowl appearances. 12 Super Bowl appearances, more than some franchises, more postseason wins than some franchises. He has more postseason wins than years the Cowboys have been past the first round of the playoffs, past the divisional round. Like, how do you?
Here's another portion of that, right? So it makes me now question like what they're gonna do with Mike Tomlin, who should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. But now, if you're not
You
putting
have players from their own
Belichick as first
team
ballot,
saying that
then
he's not
if I'll
worth
tell
a
you this much:
Hall of
if
Fame.
Belichick's not first ballot Hall of Famer, nobody's a first ballot Hall of Famer. You should just immediately start on the second ballot from now moving forward. No, nobody gets first ballot. If Belichick can't get first ballot, nobody gets first ballot. Just put everybody on second, third, fourth, fifth, eighth, 12th, 110th ballot. There's just no more first ballots because it's it's the definition. He's the greatest coach of all time with the most winning records of all time, with the most championships of all time, and he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer. Okay,
Belichick is
throw away the
the
Hall of Fame, or better yet, just make it a claim that nobody is perfect, so therefore nobody is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Belichick is the NBA NFL equivalent to Greg Popovich. You can't not give them the credit that they deserve. It'd be foolish to not have them in their respective Hall of Fames. I was in disbelief this evening when I saw that. I'm thinking to myself, how? What 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 criteria does it take for a coach to be in the Hall of Fame now? Because if Bill Belichick can't get there with 333 wins, I don't know what coach can.
And 8 rings, and eight
Eight.
rings.
You got multiple franchises with 0.
Yeah,
That still don't add up to 8.
8 rings. And coach a 16-0 season, won all those titles, right? Did it in a place where people didn't even want to play at first. And yeah, all I'll say is the Hall of Fame is more than likely a sham. And if Bill Belichick's not a first ballot, then nobody ever should be a first ballot Hall of Fame.
Here's the whole thing when we look at it. It's two things that we're looking at when we're talking about Bill Belichick. Number one, you're talking about two Patriot scandals, one dynasty, and honestly, who cheated harder? And the answer is the Patriots, clearly. You got Bill Belichick with Spygate. This was in 2007. They were caught videotaping opponents, defensive signals. A lot of it was with the Jets. Of course, they were fined $200. The Patriots was fined $50,000. Belichick was fined $500,000, and they lost a draft pick. I mean, honestly, during that year,
a first round draft pick.
Yes, they lost a first round draft pick. Like, clearly, the Patriots were spying their ways to wins. That's just the way you keep it. Then you got Deflategate, which is the Tom's airball controversy. He was accused of deflating footballs below the legal pressure in the AFC Championship. He got a 4-game suspension, $1 million fine, and the Patriots lost 2 draft picks, one in 2016 and one in 2017, which was crazy because the Patriots then followed up that next year and got a Super Bowl win after Deflategate. So did a few PSIs really change the game? Or was it just Tom being sneaky? Because the way I see it, the man got back. And if I'm correct, I think he got back-to-back Super Bowl wins off of that. So did it really matter? But when we also look into the other aspect outside of the scandals, we also have to look at Belichick's career as a GM, as a Patriots GM. Like that tenure right there wasn't the best. Because that was the waning parts of Tom Brady's career. They win 1 Super Bowl, I believe, while Belichick was GM, because you have the 2017 loss to the Eagles, the 2018 win against the Rams, in which there was only 1 touchdown scored, and I think it was Sony Michel that ran it in. And then after that, you're just heading into obscurity because 19 and 2019, I think Tom Brady left, right? Tom Brady leaves in 2019 because Patrick Mahomes comes into play. And then, so my thing is, when you look at what he did as GM, what he did as a GM was absolutely terrible. And it does bring in the conversation, should head coaches become GMs? Of course, my hot take is absolutely not. We need no head coaches ever becoming GMs. It's like they never learned their lesson. You had Belichick that was a GM. That job was terrible. You had Chip Kelly that was a GM. To my Philly fans, we don't speak about those times. Those were dark times. We don't live in those times. You have Bill O'Brien, who was a GM. Terrible. You had Deshaun Watson, who was growing. D-Hop that was in there doing his thing. That Texans team could have been something special. And Bill O'Brien, due to whatever it is, I consider it racism. But because I'm going to call a spade a spade. It was terrible. Absolutely terrible and disgusting. Same with Chip Kelly. It, like, the racism was just absolutely disgusting. So, but that's my hot take on head coaches becoming GMs. So looking into all of that, I still don't agree with the decision. I can live with it. I can't agree with it. I get the whole double jeopardy thing, but the spicier take is, is it really, I guess they're defending the game by punishing Belichick again because you did tamper with the game. And you know the NFL, they want to make sure their brand is perfect. We already know we got football players that's out here beating their wives and they not doing nothing about it. So they gotta make sure they protect the game at all times and all costs. Like I said, you got plenty of people that are playing right now that don't need to be playing. You know, i.e. Justin Tucker, Deshaun Watson, you know, so on and so forth. I can start naming NFL players out of the wazoo that honestly do not deserve to be playing, but are either playing or they're just waiting to get, found not guilty. Uh, so they got to protect their brand one way or another, because we all know the NFL is terrible at protecting their brand. So when it comes to Hall of Fame, they got to have, if you're going to be first ballot, you have to be somebody that is like the brand image. I understand the T.O. situation. That was a mutual thing because T.O. didn't want to be in the Hall of Fame either. So at the end of the day, I get the whole reason why Bill Belichick wanted it. But we're going to take all that out the window because Belichick needed to be first ballot Hall of Fame. I'm just going to throw that out there. Belichick got to be first ballot Hall of Fame. All right, moving on to our final topic. And this is the one I've been waiting all episode to get into. The NFL coaching carousel. Hey, Mike. There we go. Yes, them Steelers. I alluded to this thing. We talked about this in the chat. Mike, I need your comments on the Steelers. You lose your defensive coordinator, your offensive coordinator, and you hire Mike McCarthy as your head coach? Bro, what's going on, man? What's going on?
So I almost left the chat just now, but I'm gonna keep it here. I think there's more to the conversation than just what the Steelers are doing in the coaching carousel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about that, but I'm going to talk about that last. I'm going to talk about some other things that's happened first for the sake of conversation. Okay. For example, something else terrible that happened is Brian Dable got hired as the offensive coordinator for the Titans. The Titans will again probably go 2-14 or whatever. All right, and something else to discuss
That's
is
going to be
that
an improvement, though, Mike.
Mike McDaniel withdrew from the Bills coaching search. And now they have the new coach. Joe Brady is the new coach of the Bills, which I actually think is a fantastic hire.
I said it would happen too, but
Something else that happened was that Mike McDaniel is the offensive coordinator now for the Chargers officially, which I think is still a good move. The bigger loss, now that I'll address those, and I could probably address some more, but I know that time is short, so I'll address the Steelers situation. It was a waste of a hire to hire Mike McCarthy. I think he's a placeholder for whoever it is that we need next as the coach. He's not the long-term answer. One, he's old, like really old, like I think he's like 70. On two, he's outdated. If we were going to be outdated, we might as well just kept Tomlin. The bigger loss from the coaching staff is actually losing our special teams coach as opposed to losing our offensive defensive coordinator. Our offensive coordinator was trash. Arthur Smith was trash when we got him. He was trash before he got there. He's been trash the entire time. He's now the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State just made it to not the national championship because he is trash. Now, that being said, our defensive coordinator, Terrell Austin, losing him kind of sucks, but kind of doesn't. Our defense was very subpar all season. We were completely reliant upon turnovers. We were forcing a lot of turnovers, but we weren't executing with the defense, and we let up a lot of yards, and we let teams run rap shot over us. There were teams that had over 200 yards rushing on us multiple times. Mike McCarthy is pretty much like Jeff Fish, is the same as Jeff Fisher, who just has a ring. I'm not a fan. I think it's a silly move. I think if the idea is to keep Aaron Rodgers, so we therefore hire a coach who's going to be there as long as Aaron Rodgers is there. Aaron Rodgers is only going to be there at most for one more year. So we make this entire coaching hire based upon that. That's silly. Now, here's a better situation, though. As a Steelers fan, this gives us a chance to finally have a top 10 pick. Amen. Because we're having a loser season. It's happening. It's happening right now. I already got the plates planted. Losing season coming. Streak is over, big dog. Because we got Mike. I suck. I even sucked at coaching the Cowboys, McCarthy. So, that being said, I'm looking forward to the 2027 draft because there's a lot of quarterbacks available in the top 10 that we'll be able to go after. Dante Moore will be available. There's a couple of other that's going to be available there. Because clearly we ain't making the playoffs. We can't even spell playoffs. We looking like that old meme. Playoffs? That's going to be us for probably as long as Mike McCarthy is the coach. Because what they people don't understand is that Mike Tomlin was making lemonade out of chicken shit. We ain't have anything on the team. He didn't have no lemons. He didn't have no oranges. He didn't have no zest. He didn't have no water. My man was grabbing gravel off of the ground, blending it up in his hand, and serving you lemonade. And y'all was drinking it like, oh damn, this lemonade tastes a little funny. Yeah, it's gravel. We have nothing on the team. Not a single thing. We don't have a quarterback. We don't have a wide receiver two. We don't have a cornerback two. Our defensive line is old. Our linebackers are old. We have Jalen Ramsey playing safety. All right. I didn't mean to crash out here. I meant for this to be a calm conversation. What I have to tell you is that Mike McCarthy is a placeholder for the next coach that we're going to hire with the Steelers. The second thing I have to tell you is that I'm thankful for Mike McCarthy because we finally get a chance to pick so early that we haven't seen in 21 years with Mike Tomlin. I'm going to be so thankful for our top 5 pick. The more that you talk to me, the higher the pick is going to go. Next week, you're going to talk to me. I'm going to be like, we're going to have a top 3 pick. By the time the season starts, I'm like, we are getting the first pick. We are the new Raiders of the draft. I'm trying to tell you because there's no chance on God's green earth that we are going to be a good team with Mike McCarthy at the helm.
What happens if y'all
All the
win
problems that we have.
10 games next year?
What? First off, blasphemous. It's the same. We have the same chance of winning 10 games next year that Jared Stidham had in the playoffs. As I told you, a snowball's chance in hell. There's not
Ironically,
happening.
a snowball's chance.
It's not happening. I said it before it snowed. I didn't even know it was going to snow. That was the irony. We're not winning 10 games. Matter of fact, I am a Steelers fan. I will bet money that we do not win 10 games next year. I'll bet money. I'll bet push-ups. I'll bet in poker. It doesn't matter.
You bet those push-ups by yourself.
It ain't happening because 10 games with what roster?
It doesn't.
Okay, let me ask a better question.
Worse rosters than last year.
You said we're going to win 10 games.
So it can happen.
No, it's not with Mike McCarthy. So let's just put it in perspective. The likelihood of us winning 10 games, right? Next season, if we win 10 games, I will sell blood and semen. I don't know. I'll do something crazy because it's not going to happen. We don't have okay, let me put a better question out there. Win 10 games. What year? You talk about next year? Yes. Okay, yeah. Perfect. In what country? The United States, yes?
Yeah.
Of America, yes?
Yeah.
Of which America?
This America.
United one.
Huh?
Listen, hold on. Before we get to it, here's what you got. You obviously got 2 games with the Ravens, Bengals, and Browns.
Okay.
You played. Perfect. You played.
If we lose to the Browns twice, it'll be a great season. You pick a higher pick every day.
You lose. You play the Falcons, the Panthers.
We can beat them.
The Broncos.
We'll lose.
The Texans.
We'll lose.
The Colts.
We'll lose.
The Jags.
We'll lose.
The Patriots.
We'll lose.
The Saints.
We'll win.
The Bucks.
We'll lose.
The Titans.
We'll win.
And the Eagles.
All right, so we're going 6-11. There you go.
Y'all heard it here first.
That's the pick.
6-11.
6-11. Top 10 coming up, baby. Gonna finally be able to rebuild. We got to be dedicated to the rebuild because we've been retooling for 21 years.
I need y'all to understand in the comment section, my boss is probably going to see this. To my boss, to Tay, to all them Steelers fans that I will be showing this video to, I am here to tell you now, but Bad Mike got y'all going 6-11. Good luck out there.
And I'm a Steelers fan, diehard Steelers fan, but I call the truth because here's the thing: if you look at our team the past 8 years, we should have been finishing under 500. We should have been finishing 6-11 multiple seasons. I'm gonna tell you that Mike Tomlin was turning gravel into lemonade, brother. We made the playoffs with Duck Hodges as our quarterback. Duck Hodges. He took Mason Rudolph to the playoffs. Do you know how bad Mason Rudolph is?
Hey,
I
Hey,
think
he took a Super Bowl winning quarterback to the Super Bowl too.
you know how long ago we were in the Super Bowl?
I'm talking about Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett
Hey,
was a first round pick. Do you know how bad Kenny Pickett has the same size hands as me, and I'm 5'7". When I try to tell you that Mike Tomlin was performing miracles out there, y'all didn't want to see this man walk on water. I need y'all to understand how bad we have been. And the reason we've been mad, this is the crazy part. Y'all don't understand this as Steelers fans because y'all are Steelers fans. We've been so mad at Mike Tomlin for winning with these terrible teams because it didn't give us a chance to rebuild. Everybody else had a chance to rebuild. We're just good enough to be terrible. Do you know how much it sucks to be in NFL purgatory for 21 years in a row because he refuses to lose? This man would will us. He would bring Duck Hodges, and bring him to the playoffs for us to get blown out. Do you know how frustrating it was? That was still for years and years and years.
hey,
I'm talking about it was up there. It was like being a New York Knicks fan. It was crazy.
Yikes.
hey.
So,
Well,
or better yet, a Clippers
Look,
fan. It was like the Knicks have actually done something this year. It was like being a Clippers fan, where you have all this hope and promise before the season. You think for some crazy reason that this is gonna be the year, and then what happens? Nope, it's not the year. Nope, you already know what the record's gonna be. We finishing over 500 because he refuses to let the streak die. But you know what? We're gonna be trash when it matters. And guess what? We was trash again this year, and the year before that. We haven't won a playoff game in 10 years, and we hired Mike McCarthy. All right, I'm gonna pass it to y'all because I'll crash out on this for like 20 more minutes, bro. This is the worst hire that we could have possibly made in the cycle, other than the fact that it's gonna help us secure our first top 10 pick. So we traded up and got Devin Bush in the top 10. This is the last time we had a top 10 pick. We had to trade up to get him. So this will be our first losing season in 21 years. Yes, I know we've been spoiled, but I also know that we have not had a chance to rebuild, and I'm looking forward to the rebuild. It's going to be epic. When we have back-to-back seasons of top five, then top four, then top three, then top two, by the time 2030 here and we're number one pick, oh, y'all gonna thank me. Y'all gonna thank me. Go ahead. I'm gonna pass it to y'all. Go ahead.
all right, Jordan. Give me your take on what you think. Or honestly, just give me a take on what do you think about all the coaches that are just getting passed around in the league? We talked about Mike McCarthy getting passed around to the Steelers to help with Aaron Rodgers because apparently Aaron Rodgers can't do it without Mike. But what do you think about the coaches that are just passing around the league? Like offensive coordinators are just going around the league, defensive coordinators going around the league, head coaches going around the league. Like what we had where's the ingenuity at? Like give me what you got.
I don't know. I mean, you have coaches going for sloppy seconds. I don't know what more you could ask of me, but I will say that Mike McCarthy did seem very sentimental when he was at the podium because I guess Pittsburgh is his hometown, so he's really looking forward to making his stamp as the fourth Steelers coach in what like 60 or 70 years. I'm not sure. So it's a big responsibility. Um, some coaches realize they're better as DCs or OCs, like Eric Bieniemy going back to the Chiefs, which is where he should have been. I don't know why he left. I think the lack of a Super Bowl win over the last 2 years made him think different. But no, he's back where he belongs. The Joe Brady going to the head coach, it doesn't solve the Bills' problems because they're still bad on defense. So the OC gets the head coach. Okay, good for you. The offense is still there, but what about the defense? So they're still gonna have some issues. Um, the Eagles still we don't have an OC yet, but we'll figure that out. We always figure things out the way we need to. Other teams like Mike McDaniel, he said he'd rather be at some sunny skies and not be in the cold. So I don't blame him. A lot of people have been avoiding the Browns coaching spot like the plague. Uh, I don't know. I'd have to wait and see after the rosters have been finalized. Wait until the draft has been done to give you more insight on the coaches because Who knows? There's some trades that need to be made, some things that need to be fixed around, and then the coaching, uh, what's the word? Coaching allotments, the DC OC allotments might not look as bad, but at least for right now, it's too early to tell.
All right. Well, we're gonna end this. I got one more nice little hot take for y'all. And for this, I gotta take my hoodie off. I gotta go against the grain with my fellas. I gotta put my Eagles cap on because I'm here to discuss this offensive coordinator position. And why have we not picked somebody? I do have concerns with the offensive coordinator pick. And I have concerns because we're getting near the end of the season. And also, based on what I'm seeing, it's looking as if either number one, we're not being viewed as a top landing spot because there are a lot of people that are pulling out of the race or getting head coach positions elsewhere. So what exactly is going on? Also, I do understand the caveat of this is a Super Bowl winning franchise. Like, this team you're walking into is a Super Bowl winning team. You need to come in and make the correct calls. It's got to be something in the team search. And I know they're casting the net out wide and they're reaching out to plenty of people. But when you look at people, we can't even get people from college right now. You got Charlie Weiss that decided to stay in college rather than interview. Mike Kafka took the role with the Detroit Lions. Declan Doyle, he stayed with the Bears. Bobby Slowick decided to stay with the Dolphins. And they got stick figures running around that can't take a hit. Like, if you want a hot take, your hot take might be, is Philly really the destination spot? Because we're looking at potentially losing A.J. Brown and regressing as an offense. Even though you still have Saquon, you still have Devontae Smith, you still have Jahan Dotson, you still have Lane Johnson, for the time being, as one of the best right tackles in football. Debate it how you want to. Argue with your absent daddy, because ain't nobody told you that. You got a whole list of people inside that offense that can do well. I think injuries have riddled the offensive line, which have shaken the faith of the offensive line coach. You also have inefficiencies on offense and defense, which kind of led to this whole shakeup. And you're looking into, I'm going to bring it back, looking into potentially replacing A.J. Brown because you need a tall, strong receiver that's going to be able to draw the defenses. Because without it, you're going to stack the box and keep going. We don't need no former players. So keep Phil Rose's name out your mouth. We don't need Andrew Luck applying. The only former, actually, don't even need Nick Foles. I'm gonna say Nick Foles don't need to be a head coach, offense coordinator, because the offense coordinator needs to be he needs to be innovative. So we need to be able to get a fresh mind that can make this stuff innovative. We need stunts. We need schemes. These receivers need to be schemed open. We can look at Byron Leftwich all we want, but Byron Leftwich needs to be a head coach. We can talk about why Black people aren't being selected as head coaches in another episode because we're running out of time. But Byron Leftwich is a high-profile offensive coordinator who essentially might get us another ring, but won't stay to help develop Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts needs some stability at offensive coordinator. This is now his
testament that Jalen Hurts has been going for like 7,000 OCs and still performs every single year. It's crazy.
So that's all the time we got. Unfortunately, that is our whistle for today, but the game never really ends. Thank you for spending time with us, sharing your opinions, passion, and a love for sports that goes beyond the scoreboard. Like I said, if you like what you heard, subscribe, follow, share, and join the conversation. Until next time, stay competitive, stay curious, and keep loving the game. This is Squad Sportcast signing off. We'll see you on the next play. Mm-hmm. Hold on. We got to stop the live.
All right.
Where is it? Not that one. Jordan, can you help me out here?
Yeah. What you need?
Hold on. I got to stop the live.
Hold on 1 second. Um,